Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 6 of our F125 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend for our second sprint race of the year. This time we head to the Miami Gardens for the Miami Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live earlier on today from Jeddah, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Whereas in Bahrain, we got quite lucky and was able to score points. In Jeddah, we got quite unlucky and unfortunately was unable to make it 3 points finishes in a row. We are currently 11th place in the drivers' standings right now, just 1 point back from Kimi, Antonelli. Lando Norris has a 38-point buffer now at the top of the table ahead of his teammate Oscar Piastri, with both Ferraris still in P3 and P4 there. Max Verstappen has been a little bit unlucky so far this campaign, but is still showing good, signs of pace inside that Red Bull car as well there, just ahead of Russell and Yuki Tsunoda as well. 8th for the team in the Constructors. We need to get a couple of big races, but honestly, behind your big four teams, everybody is super close still at the moment. But of course, yeah, Miami this weekend being a sprint, we got a lot of racing ahead of us. Quickly though, before we head out to Miami, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for the support so far on F125. Like I said, if you're new, we're trying to hit 150k. Also, if you want early access to all of the videos going live at the moment, you can click the join button. It costs just £1 a month. Like I said, you get access to the videos about 24 hours early. So, if you want to see the next couple of races from this series, of course, Monaco will be going live tomorrow. Yeah, hit that join button. But yeah, now let's head to Miami. But annoyingly, we'd only been able to get ourselves up into P13, mainly because nobody else behind us has done a run. Even Dennis Hauger was able to go quicker than me on that first run here in qualifying. So let's see what we can do then on our last ditch attempt, of course, still on the same set of tyres. So you have to be really brave. Just trying to hope that we can have a bit more of a tidy lap then. Is opening up the DRS at the final corner. Only 15 seconds on the clock.
P21 for us. P21.
Even, I think that's, yeah, Albon finding even more paces. Well, you could use those curves on F124. You cannot use them on F125. Big snap of oversteer again through the first turn. We haven't really got a lot to lose though, so I'm going to stick at it. You can really attack those curves when you get the car placed correctly. The exit of Sector 1, so much more difficult now to get the car stopped without kind of over-rotating or understeering through that corner. But still, we're already a tenth and a half down at the moment, and we definitely lost a little bit of time around the rest of the lap as well. I just don't want to go slower than Hauger. That's my goal, of course, is to try and go quicker than our teammate in as many qualifying sessions as we possibly can, as throwing the car in through the end of Sector 2. You really notice kind of the different feel there, and that wall always ready to catch you out as well. Drift the car through that horrible chicane as we try and get the power down on the exit. There's still a tenth and a half down at the moment, so it's all going to come at that final braking point of the lap. See there, the gap opening up again. That slipstream from Hajar last time round. This lap has probably felt a little bit tidier, with the exception of turn 2. But I don't think we're going to reap the rewards of it out of the final corner. Are we going to be able to go quicker than what we already managed? No, we aren't. It's a completely wasted lap. We end up P21. But there we are. Charles Leclerc fastest there on at 1:26.7, 3.5 tenths clear of Max Verstappen in Sprint Q1. Williams, though, having a real disaster, P18 and P20 for them, as we get out qualified by Dennis Hauger by 4 tenths of a second. I feel like we had the pace in the car to make Q2. Just for whatever reason, I couldn't get it hooked up. Let's head, though, into the sprint race.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc and Piastri, Russell, Antonelli, Ocon and Nico Hülkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Gabriel Bortoleto and Behrman, Stroll, Doohan, Isaac Hadjar and Carlos Sainz, Hauger, Albon, Voisin and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Well, I must admit, I'm loving the new sprint race music as you head in there. Built up a little bit of the hype ready for sprint race Saturday. But 10 laps ahead of us then. Meant to be sunny skies right the way throughout the weekend. So hopefully we can try and get a good result on the board. Got to be careful though. Liam Lawson alongside me. I'm sure many of you guys remember his antics down his turn 1 of the Grand Prix proper just a few weeks ago. But ready then on the grid, waiting on those 5 red lights for the Miami sprint. It's going to be lights out, and away we go there. The Williams car of Albon not getting off to a particularly good start. Lawson already weaving around behind me, trying to find an avenue as we're going to be met with a wall of Formula 1 cars down in towards turn 1. Trying not to lose a place there as Sainz down the middle as he and his teammate try to avoid any contact. We will immediately get the jump on Dennis Hauger, who I believe will be taking some grid penalties as we head into the Grand Prix proper. I just had a bit too much engine wear in recent races, of course not helped by that mechanical failure back at Albert Park. But down the inside then of Alex Albon at the end of sector 1, we'll make sure we give him the room on the exit of the corner. But wheel to wheel we will go, trying to immediately tuck back into the slipstream as soon as we can. But it looks like, despite the fact they've redone this circuit, the AI is still rapid in a straight line down the back straight there. Lawson going past me. Oh, and then trying to move across me into the braking zone. We won't take that too fondly as we'll go wheel to wheel with him in towards the hairpins. But luckily, again, we will just about be able to hang on to the position there again. Bit of a cheeky look down the inside of Albon, as I mean, this is just a traffic paradise through the exit of Sector 2 there. Doohan and Sainz going wheel to wheel. I think Carlos Sainz are actually cut the chicane to try and get the place of Jack Doohan. But again, everybody looks so far to have made it fairly clean and tidy. Hauger has resumed his positioning at the back of the field as they've added a couple of extra braking markers down in towards that final proper corner of the lap, and every time now it throws me off because I think I'm about to outbrake myself. Lando Norris though still leading the way at the end of lap 1. We are going to have to be careful. Battery usage is really, really critical inside this game, and I think it's always quite easy in a sprint race to kind of use a bit too much of it too early on there. It's almost into the back of Jack Doohan. There's sort of millimetres in it between our two cars, but again, try to have a look down the inside there. Doohan that time round will cut the chicane as we get all kinds of loose and wild behind him through the next couple of corners. Just, you know, again, like I said, this is basically practice ready for the main event. It was, I think, Toto Wolff, wasn't it, that said to Kimi Antonelli that it's a sprint race, it doesn't matter. So we you know, try and learn what we can do ready for the main event there as, well, we've just got no confidence on the brakes. Hauger trying to have a look back past me. But yeah, the car's sliding around everywhere. Oh, come on. Damn it. Just lock the rears up. I was so scared there that I was going to go into the back of Lawson down to that final corner, and well, I haven't struggled with it so much in the last couple of races, but rear locking still is a real issue inside this game. I mean, I'm running quite a front brake bias anyway,
0 seconds.
but I'm going to have to try and move that even further forward. Again though, it's a sprint, it doesn't matter. Let's just try and get the car to the finish. We've got yellows, someone's breaking down. I think that might be Liam Lawson. Oh, there's been a roadblock. Albon's binned it. Oh no, we can't go anywhere. This might be a red flag, surely. Albon has blocked the road. Is there a gap between Hauger and Liam Lawson? Yes, there is, and we will make our way through. How is that not a safety car at the very least here? There's everybody trying to figure their way out. And well, I was worried that we were just going to spend the last few laps of this Grand Prix down in last. But it looks like, yeah, we've got a battle between us. So yeah, the Williams of Alex Albon and those two V-carbs then towards the end. It might well be that Dennis Hauger doesn't finish basically in last place. Got more yellows out apparently. Someone else might have binned it in this race. I think that's... Is it Jack Doohan? Is it Gabriel Bortoleto? Don't say we've got another roadblock. We have! What on earth is going on here in Miami? And well, we're going to take it nice and easy in towards that final corner. Are there any cars still abandoned? No, they have been able to get going again. But I assume it's been the same incident yet again here. So that desperately needs to be fixed in the not too distant future. I understand like AI making mistakes and things like that, but causing 2 roadblocks at the same corner inside 3 laps may be a little bit too extreme. We've got more yellows, another car breaking down. That looks to be Jack Doohan then, whose engine's given up With just one lap to go here, so disappointing for the Australian, but I mean, considering a few laps ago I thought we were just going to be finishing last in this race, a lot has suddenly happened. And I'm really hoping now then that this video has recorded properly, because this has been a much more interesting sprint than the one in Shanghai was. Plenty of action here and a lot going down, but as Alex Albon then is rocked up to the back of me on this final lap again, the Williams is still an absolute missile around here. Albon will move up into P17. It's kind of irrelevant because he's got a 10-second penalty anyway for that spin down at the final hairpin. But Lando Norris, he will come through for sprint race victory here in Miami and will continue to extend his World Championship lead. And we are just trying to save up any last little bit of battery we can to try and go for a move back on Alex Albon down the back straight there. Slightly concerned the tyre wear warning lights flashed up after just 10 laps, so a 2-stop might be the way to go as we head into the Grand Prix. But can we try and get a run on Albon down in towards the final corner? You can see he's having a safe battery, but annoyingly we've got none left either there. That Williams, way too fast to contend with. In towards the final corner though, from P21 on the grid, it's going to be P18. It's been tough, but we can regroup ready for the main event. Well, there we are then. Lando Norris comfortably clear. Just basically kept Max Verstappen at arm's length throughout most of that sprint race there. Top three exactly as they started. Hamilton in third ahead of his teammate Leclerc. Oscar Piastri, both of those Mercedes and Yuki Tsunoda, means it was just your big four teams that scored points in the sprint. Has that moved anything around in the championship? Leclerc now just 2 points back from Oscar Piastri yet again. Verstappen now 1 point behind Lewis Hamilton as well. But yeah, let's head though into the Grand Prix proper.
Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Here we are then, last chance saloon, less than a minute left on the board. Can we make it into Q2 for the second qualifying session in a row? Only time will tell. There was definitely a few tenths left on the table after that first run, and we are barely a few thousandths of a second behind Sir Lancelot at the moment. So let's just see if we can try and get the lap nailed. Oh, I missed the apex again through turn 1. We're really struggling with the braking inside this game, but hopefully we'll carry a little bit of extra speed off of turn 2 and turn 3 there. Down in towards 4, just try and tip the car in, try and get it hooked up over that inside curb. But we just, whatever we do, cannot get this car placed. Every lap it feels different around this venue right now, and it's really, really costing us. It looks like Alex Albon has improved, Lance Stroll has improved as well, Hauger's improved to go quicker than myself as well here, so lots of times coming in and lots of AI getting more and more competitive. Could we see Hauger, of course, press engine in the back of our teammate's car? Could we see him potentially make it through into Q2 here? I think he might well have done. So try and throw the car through this slow section of the lap there, get as close to the logos on the boards as we possibly can. And then plant it on the exit there. You can still find good traction as purple through sector 2. Clearly the AI still struggled a little bit over that chicane. Down to P19 though, but 2 tenths up at the moment, so we could be in for a decent improvement. Albon is on a 28.5. That is the benchmark we are trying to chase. Again, nailing the braking down to that final corner. Use the last little bit of battery on the exit. It is going to be so close as we make the run towards the line. We only go 19th. Well, Russell then fastest ahead of his former teammate Lewis Hamilton, but we seem to have a bit of a curse so far this season. Normally, the car that goes quickest in Q1 doesn't end up taking pole there. Nico Hülkenberg P5, that is a ridiculous lap time in his Sauber car, but Dennis Hauger, by the skin of his teeth, will make Q2 for the first time this season. Both sessions this weekend he's out-qualified me, so we have still got a lot of work to do.
Florida is no stranger to world-class sport, and as of 2022, the USA's Sunshine State is now on the F1 calendar. Welcome back to the Magic City for the Miami Grand Prix. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I'm sure it's one that will please the fans. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri and Russell, Antonelli, Ocon, Sainz and Nico Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Gasly, Fernando Alonso and Lawson, Stroll, Hauger, Alex Albon and Gabriel Bortoleto, Voisin, Behrman, Hadja and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, 29 laps of racing ahead of us today, and yep, I don't think the one-stop is going to be the way to go here. I think we're going to see a lot of cars on a two-stop strategy. So my plan is run, I think, a set of hards early on, then go to mediums, and then... run a set of mediums early on, then go to hards for the middle stint of the Grand Prix and see how far we can take them there. Maybe kind of 9 laps on mediums, 12 laps on hards, another 9 laps on mediums to the end of the GP. I know I've got my maths wrong slightly there, but as a loose estimate for what to expect during the Grand Prix today. It is going to be interesting to see what strategy is like. Tyre wear is high, grip is low, but as we get ready on the grid then, ready for the Miami Grand Prix, I think we could be in for a really good race. 5 red lights are on. The 5 red lights are out, and it is lights out, and away we go then. Once again, the Williams failing to get off to a decent start there. Round him we will go before we get into turn 1. Late on the brakes, as we will try and get the elbows out there around the outside of loads of cars. Straight up into P13 then, so a confident, inspiring start here in Miami, and kind of found an avenue and was able to make it work for ourselves there. Hulkenberg will desperately be wanting to hang on for Sauber's first points of the campaign as well, as Gasly and Verstappen, of course the former Red Bull teammates, they're going wheel to wheel. We will try and follow Verstappen by from the Alpine driver there. Just make sure that we don't get put in the catch fence on the outsiders there as we make our way out to the back straight. The other thing I learned though in yesterday's sprint, ERS management is going to be really, really critical. Don't try to use too much of it too early on. You can see we're definitely still lacking a little bit of straight line speed against the AI, but nowhere near as badly as it was in yesterday's event. As we try and throw the car then through these next few corners. Oh, I mean, it's just a traffic paradise, isn't it, at the moment? And we try and potentially line up a move on Pierre Gasly. Down, oh no, down the inside. We just pick up a tiny bit of front wing damage. That should be okay, that should be manageable. Second week in a row though, we've picked up front wing damage early on. Not exactly what I needed to do. Well, already then, yeah, we just cannot keep up with Max Verstappen in the early stages of this race, and that thing I said about battery management immediately seems to have gone out the window there. Gasly trying to have a look around our outside, cannot make that one happen though, as Alonso also just waiting in the wings, but that corner is definitely going to catch me out at some point. We've nudged the wall a couple of times, but it's just so much tighter than it used to be through there because the wall's been moved in, so got to be super, super careful of it. But we might have to do what we did in Jeddah and just pit slightly earlier than the AI here. I think if we can get to kind of the end of lap 7, then I won't complain too much. We can just about stay in the DRS, but we do need the AI to stay bunched up. I think we're going to be a sitting duck to Pierre Gasly this time by them, and Fernando Alonso, one of Alpine's current against one of Alpine's former there.
Get those places back.
Okay, Mark, clearly we're going to try that immediately then as Alonso... Oh, we'll just cover him off into the on the exit of one hairpin into the next. But yeah, as always though, these few corners is where we seem to be really strong there. Verstappen though, not happy, caught up behind Carlos Sainz and Nico Hülkenberg's battles, but it's keeping everybody else pretty close. I think Lando Norris is absolutely bolted at the front of the field. He and I believe the 2 Ferrari cars. So yeah, Oscar Piastri very much on the defensive right now. But like I said, these early laps, I knew as soon as I hit the brakes there that was too late. I've accidentally dive-bombed Pierre Gasly and managed to get it stopped. Not surprised I got a warning, but at least you didn't get more damage. I mean, Pierre Gasly is just relentless with this attack at the moment, but it does seem like he, Alonso and I are broken free from kind of that next gaggle of cars there. As Alonso, he's not going to try and get one place, he might try and get 2 there. Can't quite get it around the outside of Pierre. We will try and have a look around the outside of Fernando, but definitely not enough grip there. Stroll moves his way past Lawson. He started this race on softs. That seemed like a brave choice, as Hulkenberg and Sainz now getting a bit disconnected from that pack in front. So we could be in the fight for points. There we go, Lance Stroll again then. Absolutely flying past me to make our way onto the back straight. Don't know how many times we've said that so far this weekend, as Behrman 1 and 2 for him. As you've always got to be a little bit careful. Lance Stroll might not have spotted him in that scenario, but again, Lance trying to have a dive back down the inside in towards the next corner. Who will come out on top in this scenario? We're forced just to watch on there. The Stroll will defend that place. To the inside of Behrman we will go, and forcing our way back through. Well, I think that move on Ollie Behrman was completely pointless there, because again, he's going to fly past me as we make our way down the back straight. I'm having to use the 150 meter board as my marker now. I know I can brake later. I'm just scared to at this point. I think we've got to gamble it. We just do not have the pace in this race at the moment to try and do the two-stop, to try and do the same as everybody else. So I'm going to stay out here, probably ideally to the end of lap 12. Will we see any of the other runners in though? Bortoletto stays out. We have got a few cars in. Ollie Behrman is one of them there, as I've got to be careful, of course, of the pit lane entry inside this game. But for the first time today then, we're going to be up into the points. Oh my lord, we're 4 wide. I didn't even realise that. Somehow we're going to claim it on the brakes there, but I had no idea we were about to go 4 wide down in towards the hairpin, so that got a little bit scary. So luckily we'll try and break free a little bit on the exit, but Oscar Piastri, he needs to utilise that fresh compounded tyre. Looks like he's been able to move past all the other cars. I'm sure he's about to fly past me as well.
Car behind on the medium tyre now.
So Piastri then definitely on a two-stop strategy. He's not going to be able to get those to the end of the afternoon, as we will drop back into 10th place then. Will we lose a spot to Esteban Ocon, having another fantastic weekend in his Haas car? Looks like we're safe for now, as Gabriele Bortoletto into the pits as well. I think we're going to be vulnerable now, but we have still got that DRS yet again. Up to P5 in this Grand Prix. There's Ocon there again, we will just about defend from. Who's that coming out on pit lane exit? Yuki Tsunoda! Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it. Just thought he'd back out of it on the exit of the corner. We kind of understeer out towards him. And, well, yet another little error in this Grand Prix.
Don't be too aggressive.
I mean, Tsunoda in that scenario, I feel like probably should have backed out. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below. But an awkward little tangle, and immediately a load of those places we would have gained have completely evaporated. Here comes Hulkenberg as well. That's right, Nico Hulkenberg is effectively a pit stop ahead of me in this Grand Prix. That's pretty painful. Goodbye, Lance Stroll. Whoa! And Isaac Hadjar there as well, both getting a run on me down the back straight. But it looks like, yeah, our top 3 are trying to make the one-stop work as well. So going to be very, very interesting whether Lando and those Ferraris are going to come out on top because of it. And be able to look back around the outside of Hadjar there. He's very slow through the hairpin, but yeah, we just have not got the grip right now as rattling up against the walls. I just know every extra lap we do at the moment will benefit us towards the end of the afternoon. And so what are those tyres on? 65% on that rear. There's, yep, Carlos Sainz as well. Thank you very much.
We might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
And Liam Lawson again. Yep, another one gone by. The AI, I know they've said they're going to try and fix it, but they are so quick on corner exit. They've always been too fast though here at Miami in a straight line. It feels like they basically run 0 wing, but still have loads of downforce, which is not a fun competition. Ollie Behrman as well. I mean, we were battling him before he pits, so this strategy is really not working for us at the moment. But yeah, we are going to dive in at the end of this lap onto a set of the hard compound tyres there to try and get to the end. We should have stuck to our guns. We should have stuck to the data and gone with the two-stop strategy because, well, we are just falling apart. I'm going to give Pierre Gasly a little bit of room through those first couple of corners, as Fernando Alonso now as well. Everybody trying to challenge us. I mean, it's like driving on ice on these tyres at the moment. I don't even know if we've stayed in the DRS of Ollie Behrman. We're going to lose one more. We're going to lose another. We're going to lose another 2 as well. Down to P20 in this race. The only cars we've got behind us are Jack Doohan and our teammate Dennis Hauger. This honestly feels like bullying as we try and go around the outside again of Albon and Bortoletto, but there is just no point in having this fight right now. Boy, oh boy, this has been tough. There is, oh, Bortoletto almost, I thought he was going to back out of it there and then suddenly decided at the last moment he would. As now I'm sure Jack Doohan is going to get a run on me as well. Yeah, this strategy gamble has not paid off for us, and I think it's only going to get more painful during the second half of the Grand Prix there, but, you know, at least the AI, they're certainly putting on a show in this Grand Prix as well, as let's just make sure that we nail the pit lane entry through that final corner. Stay out of the white lines, and where is that marker board? There it is. Just like getting the tyres stopped on the marks, as, yeah, Hauger running down in last place as well. It feels like we had a decent enough car that we could keep up in qualifying, but by sacrificing some of the downforce, we might have made our life even more difficult as we head into the race. Annoyingly, I'd forgot to disable the front wing change. It was not costing us much, so we probably didn't need to do that. But a 7.7 second pit stop then, just before half distance. Alex Albon making his way out the pit lane. We're going to be right with him. We're still not ahead. I thought that one was going to be the one that we get ahead of here, but Albon's going to have to try and get some temperature in his tyres, so maybe we can stick with him and just have some DRS. The other frustrating thing, no one's DNF'd, so we are running in 22nd place. Is this going to be our chance? I don't want to speak too soon. Fernando Alonso, we're ahead of someone. We're not last in this Grand Prix. I'm genuinely happy with that than I should be. I'm like James May when he was, I think it was Rallycross, wasn't it? Where he goes, I'm not last, I'm second to last. That's how it felt there. Admittedly, it's already over. Fernando Alonso finding a way straight back by. But yeah, my battle is definitely with Hauger to the end. There we are, the moment of truth time. Dennis Hauger is into the pit lane then. So where are we going to see our teammate re-emerge in this Grand Prix? He should be behind me, but I don't think it's going to be by too much. There is Hauger. Oh, so that's Doohan, isn't it, on pit lane exit? So Alonso as well. He's having an absolute stinker of a Grand Prix. Hauger making his way out. Annoyingly, they still haven't fixed the glitch.
In the pits now.
Been there since Miami first debut back on F1 22. That whenever they leave the pit lane, it tells you again that they're diving in, but we've only got a second advantage over our teammate. I think, honestly, the two-stop probably was the way to go today. Oh, no! Haha! There you go. That's our race over then, isn't it? Picked up a 3-second time penalty late on for track limits. They are very, very strict through that S section of the lap.
Time penalty for that last incident, mate.
Yeah, there you go. Dennis Hauger as well, moving his way back by me. Haven't really raced him much this season. But I think we're going to finish last here, twice in a row. Today has not been a great day for us, but clearly I'm still paying the universe back for all the luck I got in Bahrain. Oh, we've got yellows, Maybe someone, we might not finish 22nd in this race. It's a small silver lining, but it might just be a silver lining here. I think that's a Williams. Might be Alex Albon that's out of the Grand Prix. I don't quite know. Well, there are plenty of cars bunched up. No, it's the other Williams. Carlos Sainz then out of the Grand Prix late on in the day. Just a lap away from seeing the checkered flag. Heartbreak for the Spaniard. A very disappointing end. And would have been a tough weekend for him and the Williams team there. But we're not 22nd. In fact, yeah, because we're on this penultimate lap, Sainz will get classified as well. So we won't technically finish last, according to the FIA, in this race. But clearly, my all-new Jack Doohan haircut is not working for me this weekend. It has brought me nothing but bad luck here in Miami. And I think pretty much everything that could go wrong probably has gone wrong. These tyres feel absolutely destroyed. You can see how much graining there is on the front right there. 71%. We are all over the show. To be honest, I'm surprised we haven't got a lap down here. Engine warning light on as well. So clearly this thing is lighting up like a Christmas tree towards the end. And that's the ICE that we might have to replace out ready for Imola. Also the NGUH as well. not looking very much better there. As Lando Norris, though, through the final corners, he is going to win the Miami Grand Prix. A perfect weekend for him. Maximum points taken from this venue. So, yeah, once again, he's going to extend his World Championship lead. I believe it was Oscar Piastri that were making a McLaren 1-2, with one of the Ferraris joining them on the podium as well. But, yeah, after yesterday, we scored points in both Grand Prix. Today, clearly the one-stop isn't always the way to go. I think we would have been a lot quicker had we opted for a two-stop here. Just took both sets a bit too far. And if you get the tyres past about 60% wear, they do just seem to completely fall apart inside this game as well. But through the final few corners here from Miami, you know, it's early on. We are still learning everything that there is to know inside this game. You know, we've got plenty of time, and of course, I'd rather learn these mistakes now, you know, than when we're trying to fight for a World Championship or anything like that. Hauger will come through for P19. I believe that's the first time he's beaten a two-time World Champion so far this season, but getting the power down out of the final corner. Honestly, we've survived the Miami Grand Prix.
Here's the checkered flag. The fans rise to their feet. It's Lando Norris for victory.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. It's the start of potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. It's a long way to go.
There's room for 3 on their podium, but only ever 1 right at the top. Let the celebrations begin. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris.
Well, there we are then, Lando Norris in control at the front of the order, and, well, McLaren and Ferrari can make the one-stop strategy work. Our little minnow 2-2 Motorsport team absolutely couldn't, which was a little bit of a shame there. Oscar Piastri in P4 ahead of Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda. Russell ahead of Ocon. Hulkenberg now means that every single team has scored a point so far this season, which I always quite like to see as well in Formula 1. Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli rounds out your top 10 there. Behrman, a great drive from the back of the field to come through for P11. Sainz obviously didn't finish, but was classified there in P22. And I mean, you just look at the fastest lap times, we were way off anybody else there. I know we were on a slightly worse strategy for setting quick laps, but a 1:32.1. I think the closest car we were to was Isaac Hadjar on a 1:31. Oh, Gasly did a 1:31.8. So only 3/10 away. What does that do to our World Championship standings? Well, it means Lando now has a 51-point lead at the top of the table. Piastri now between those two between those two Ferrari cars. As Verstappen still down in P5. Russell still in 6th ahead of Tsunoda. We are still in P11 overall, I believe, as everybody's taking points out of each other. Constructors-wise, though, despite those points, Kick Sauber still in last. McLaren still out in front there ahead of Ferrari and Red Bull. We are still in P8 as well. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.